Weekly Life Challenge. Stronger, happier, better, together. Hi, welcome to Weekly Life Challenge. This is the recap of week 9 and the introduction to challenge number 10, challenge for week 10. So for week 9, the challenge was solitary rejuvenation. The idea was to spend some time each day by myself doing something that was good for my soul. So I started the week off with a 3-hour mindfulness retreat of sorts. It was actually 4 hours, but the first 3 hours were the real practice, and we spent the time in complete silence. There was a group of people, but we were completely silent. There was some talking, some instruction, but we did a number of different types of meditations and practices. Overall, what I experienced was a sense of letting myself have the permission I needed to be there, to give up a morning, pretty much a full morning, to give up all my responsibilities for the day, to delegate some of them or do some of them at another time, and to just be in a place where I could be quiet and I could be mindful and I could be focused on nothing or whatever came up. And it was a great way to start this week. It was quite emotional. I found there were a lot of emotions involved in this realization that it's okay and it's good to spend time just letting yourself be yourself and not having to perform or produce or anything else, just being quiet and alone. It was all downhill from there in terms of really spending time in solitary rejuvenation this week. A couple days I was able to go out, to leave my responsibilities, leave my workplace, which at the moment is my home, and be alone outside, sitting, thinking, not thinking, meditating, whatever it was. And that was really good. I found most of that time I spent struggling with myself to put away the to-do lists and the shoulds and the musts and the coulds. So it's something I'm going to have to continue practicing because it was valuable and hard, but practice makes perfect, and I can see that it will become something that is easier. Some other days when I didn't make a specific time to leave home and do that, I found I wasn't able to do it. So my husband is working a few evenings a week now, and so once the kids are in bed, I have time. I am alone, so I have the solitary thing going, but the rejuvenation part I found really difficult. It was easy for me to get caught up in either cleaning or sitting and wasting time somehow. And sometimes I would use that time well. I was pleased with the way I spent my time. I'm not saying that I just wasted all my time, but it wasn't easy or natural. It wasn't natural for me to choose a rejuvenating kind of activity. So that was something really interesting to notice, that this, like I had said the week before, I'm 100% on board with the idea of time for yourself and reflection and quiet and meditation and whatnot, rejuvenation. But actually practicing it, there are mental and emotional blocks that I've created and that society has helped me create, however they get there, that made it a little bit difficult. And I did experience that this week. So I've decided for week 10, this coming week, I'm going to do something to address that. So this week's challenge, I'm calling it No Internet Idling. And the idea of idling comes from a car. You know, when you're driving and then you stop and you're waiting for someone or whatever, and the car is it's running. The engine is running, but you're not going anywhere. You're not being productive. There's no ground being covered. You're just running the engine, and it's wearing out the engine, and it's adding pollution to the air, and it's not good unless you're in the freezing cold, then I guess you have to keep it on. But in general, idling, that's the idea of idling. And that's the image that, actually, I should give my husband credit, he came up with it, but that's the image that really explains sometimes what I do on the internet. So idling doesn't have to be a bad thing. Okay, from an environmental perspective, yes, but you're just kind of waiting. Usually you're waiting for, I don't know what you're waiting for. Maybe you're waiting for the red light. Maybe you're waiting for traffic to move. Maybe you're waiting for someone to come. You're picking someone up. I don't know what you're waiting for, but you're waiting. You're waiting. And sometimes I find when I have a few moments here, a few moments there, and I don't want to get involved in a big project, or I don't really have a lot of energy and I don't to take on something new, I will spend that time doing something that's kind of like waiting for the next thing in life. And when I'm waiting, sometimes I just open up the internet or internet browser and start reading things. Now, some of the things that I read or some of the things I do when I'm on the internet are good things. I'm not being destructive. I'm not being harmful to myself in any way. It's just I'm not using that time well. This week, I'm very intentionally not saying no internet, no technology. Like I'm not doing an unplug myself challenge this week. I'm doing a no internet idling. So what I really want to get at here is noticing how I'm spending my time and using and trying to make tweaks to those times. So I'm not saying I'm not going to read any articles on the internet. I'm not going to do any communication with people on the internet. It's not that. But I'm going to try to use the time, complete my task, read the article, and then not get sucked into reading another, or just kind of look for what else can I do because I don't feel like anything else right now. Like I want to be a little more aware of how I'm spending my time, specifically when it comes to the computer. One thing that is definitely going to go is, I can't believe I'm even admitting this, Candy Crush. I don't know how this happened. So remember a few years ago when everybody was playing Candy Crush? Yeah, so were we. And we were addicted to it and it was fun. And then we realized it's actually not fun and not useful, and we got rid of it. And I don't know how it happened, but Candy Crush has come back into our home and into our lives and onto our phones, and it's got to go. It's got to go. Nothing good can come from spending time playing Candy Crush. I might continue to play Words with Friends because I play with friends. We'll see. But that's it. That's all I do. And then read stuff. So you get the idea. This week, no internet idling. And I'm hoping it will help me continue the challenge from week 9 this week too. So if I am taking something out of my schedule, let's say, it's not really a scheduled thing, but out of my time, then I should be able to put something else in. And I'm going to see if it's possible this week to encourage myself to make that some kind of rejuvenating experience, some kind of something that helps me as a person to rest or relax or center or whatever word, insert word that suits right there. I have the best words. So that will be week 10. No internet idling. And I'd really love to hear if you decide to do this, and if you're able to find a way to catch yourself or to encourage yourself to switch to something else, or the kinds of activities that you do instead. I'd love to hear those suggestions. This is something that I think is really important for me. Let me be clear, this is not a be more productive challenge. I did that a few weeks ago, and that's not the goal here. I'm not trying to say I'm not going to use the internet so that I can do all these things. No, this is just a be more mindful of your time, be more intentional. It's really an intentional activity seeking challenge, which kind of sums up this whole project. This whole Weekly Life Challenge project is about making intentional choices, being more intentional in my life. And so this is specifically being intentional with my time and not letting it just slip away as it can when you start idling. on the computer. So I hope you'll join me for that. And if you do, you can check out more at weeklylifechallenge.com. And we also have a Facebook page and everything else. And thank you so much for following. And I will see you next week.